A jobless surge in Australia. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance, originally from Bloomberg, discussing the jobless surge in Australia's virus hotspots and how it sparks tensions. Let's go through this, because unemployment really is at quite a high level. 7.4%. If we look at the Roy Morgan methodology, unemployment and underemployment is at 23%. And now there's talk hundreds of thousands of people in Victoria will be out of work. Hundreds of thousands of people. The economic impact of this lockdown is unprecedented. There's no living memory of the Great Depression, everyone. This is unprecedented. There are a lot of businesses that are never going to come back, and a lot of people that are going to really face some challenging times. So let's look at this. The coronavirus lockdown in Australia's Victoria state caused an immediate slump in consumer spending and a surge in job losses this month, prompting the federal government to call for the leader of the second most populous state to announce a plan to reopen the economy. Now, I've linked to that in a previous video. I've discussed the initial release or the announcement of a plan to make a plan, essentially, from the Victorian government. And I'll link to that up there. I'm just looking at my time, 1:42. I'll link to that above if you haven't seen it. It's a plan to make a plan. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, and hopefully it will actually amount to something. Hopefully they will realize they need to open up the economy. Wasn't the goal to flatten the curve to ensure our medical facilities have the capability to deal with the influx of people suffering from this illness? So there's some interesting statistics coming out, or information coming out from the CDC, that only 6% of the people didn't have comorbidities. And the problem is, this is what Rachel is thinking, is that the comorbidities are so prevalent in our society that that's why they're freaking out. Everyone who's a little bit overweight, everyone who's is pre-diabetic and probably doesn't even know it, particularly with the standard Australian diet or the standard American diet, all the tofu people, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. So there's a lot of people who potentially are at risk but may not realize it. That could be why. That could be why they're freaking out. They're going so hardcore, and now they're backed into a corner. They'll lose face if they step down, or if they get off the path of restrictions upon restrictions. This has to be the biggest public policy failure by a state government in living memory, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg told reporters in Canberra on Monday. Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews announced he intends to provide a detailed roadmap out of the lockdown on September 6. The number of Victorians receiving unemployment benefits has risen by 27,600 since June 26th, a 7.2% increase. And more than half of the total was recorded in the 3 weeks ending August. Wow. According to the Federal Treasury, the state imposed severe restrictions on August the 2nd as the pace of the COVID-19 infections climbed. Prime Minister Scott Morrison's federal government is concerned the lockdown in the state, which accounts for about 25% of the nation's GDP, will exacerbate stress on an economy that has tipped into its first recession in almost 3 decades. First one in 28 years, everybody. The majority of the workforce doesn't know what a recession's like. They don't remember a recession. Frydenberg, who is crafting a budget to be delivered on October 6th, is calling for Andrews to announce a plan to quickly allow businesses to reopen as restrictions bring the pandemic under control. We now need the Victorian government to provide more detailed answers and a more detailed roadmap out of the lockdown, Frydenberg said on Monday in a radio interview. Outside of Victoria, jobs have come back and the virus has been controlled. The resurgence of the coronavirus in Victoria, which recorded 72 new cases on Monday amid a wave of fatalities in its aged care facilities, has prompted leaders of other states and territories to enforce hard border restrictions for the first time since the Spanish flu pandemic a century ago. That's playing havoc on businesses involved in transport, tourism, and other sectors. And they never discuss how many people are recovered every day. I need to do that. I need to make that a weekly video. Premier Andrews said on Monday that his government will this week collate more data and consult with businesses, unions and community groups before announcing his plan to ease restrictions. There will be a number of key principles that underpin this opening up roadmap, including physical distancing, making sure staff work from home whenever possible, and limiting the total amount or the total number of staff and customers in any enclosed area, and stopping carpooling, he said. Measures also likely to be enforced include wearing a face mask at all times in the workplace and making sure protective equipment is used in high-risk industries. The Reserve Bank of Australia said this month it expects the economy's recovery to be slower due to the major impact of the lockdown in Victoria. The RBA resumed buying government bonds on August 5th after a 3-month hiatus and has purchased $8 billion since then. There you go. Morrison's Conservative government is calling for the states to dismantle restrictions at their borders. The Prime Minister at the weekend said he was investigating installing a new system that could instead categorize regional areas or cities as virus hotspots with mandatory restrictions, leaving other areas within the state with low community transmission to operate relatively normally. The federal government expects more Victorians will be using its JobKeeper program, which pays companies for retaining workers in the December and March quarters than the rest of Australia combined. So Victoria looks like it's going to be the anchor that's going to drag down Australia's economy. Are we going to start to see this manifest in property, everyone? This is going to be a slow process. This is going to be a slow process. Victoria is a big part of Australia's economy. Big chunk of it. Victorian household spending is now down 30% year to date. From flat mid-July, even as Australia-wide it has declined 3%. The Treasury said, look at that, it's 10x. Their decline is 10x the rest of the country, everyone, in their consumer spending. And consumer spending, well, that's tied to business confidence. Latest data, business conditions were getting better, but business confidence was still down in the gutter. And the consumer confidence, I don't even want to hazard a guess at what job ads are going to look like in Victoria. Here's the problem is this also adds a level of uncertainty. This is why, good for the Victorian government to release a plan for a plan. That's fantastic. But how long has it been? How long has it taken? How many businesses are just, I was hearing somewhere 1 in 8 businesses in Victoria are never going to open again. Are never going to open again. So hopefully this will be a plan that will actually amount to something, and they'll realize that they can't. These lockdowns are having a tremendous impact. How long will people last? How long will people last? Is the price that we're paying worth it? Will that question ever be answered? We'll have to see. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Are you concerned about what's happening in Victoria? Are you Victorian? Do you plan to stay? What about business? Is it even existing at the moment? The question is, how many people actually have enough reserves to last them out? And what happens when they start to dry up? Or how many people will wait and see what happens? As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links on Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time.